Hey everybody, I'm the Gulf Coast Granny and welcome back to my kitchen table. You know, I moved to Mississippi 10 years ago. In fact, December was 10 years ago. And as soon as we got here, we celebrated my son's birthday, we celebrated Christmas, and then we were slapped in the mouth with Mardi Gras. Dear God. I don't understand it still. I understand that it's a Christian holiday and it's the day before Lent and there's a whole bunch of debauchery going on the few weeks leading up, and people act foolish. I mean, they act like pure fools. I've been to maybe 3 Mardi Gras parades in that 10 years, and I just still don't understand. However, I was introduced to a Mardi Gras tradition on the Gulf Coast, and I learned that it was a tradition from 300 years ago in France. It is the king cake. Now this one is still in the package, but I'm going to open it up in a minute. This king cake is from Randazzo's Camellia City Bakery. It is in Slidell, Louisiana, and they get delivered fresh every morning to a pharmacy right down the road from me. These suckers cost $25 each. $25. Now, when I tell you what this is, you're going to lose your mind, I think. I did. So the first one I ever tried was from Walmart, of course. I saw the pretty decorations, and that's what they do. Okay, a king cake is a pastry. Let me open it. A king cake is a French pastry, much like a cinnamon roll. A cinnamon roll, y'all. And what they do is they put sugar over the top in the Mardi Gras colors of gold and green and purple. And I don't know if I'll ever get this thing open. Hang on. Anyhow, that first king cake that I ever ate was terrible. It was dry. It tasted like an old dried up cinnamon roll with sugar, crunchy sugar all over the top of it. And I thought, good Lord, why are people going crazy over this thing? Well, I learned that people actually have, during the Mardi Gras season, they have king cake parties. And here's what happens. You go to the party and you're all dressed up in your beautiful gown, and that's the thing around here. If you go to a Mardi Gras party, it is not a party, it's a ball just about. It's insane the way these people dress, and they'll get every kind of Botox and tummy tuck and everything else to be able to fit into their dress. The women will anyhow. The men don't care, they just like to drink. But anyhow, like I said, the first king cake I ever had was terrible. Got it from Walmart. It looked pretty, and I said, ooh, let's try this. The kids will love it. Well, the kids wouldn't even eat it. They say that this king cake from Randazzo's Camellia City Bakery is the best that you can buy. We're going to find out. Now, again, as you'll notice, there's yellow and purple and green sprinkles on this. I like that. Most of the time what they do is they use colored sugar, and it's like eating sand, sweet sand. And it's piled on so thick that it looks like a diabetic coma. True story. This one looks prettier, even though the icing was a little messed up. But I don't care about that. So anyhow, they go to these parties, and everybody eats a piece of the cake. There's a baby in this cake. A plastic baby is in this cake somewhere. And whoever gets the baby in their piece of cake has to buy the cakes for the next party. It's cute. It's a cute idea. It really is. But the expense and the tomfoolery and the drinking, my God, the drinking that goes on. And these women spend ungodly amounts of money on dresses that they just pull off in the middle of everywhere. Anyway, so we're going to try this cake today and see if it's any good. And I guess we're going to see if I get the baby in the middle or, in the cake. I'll be right back. Now look, I know that my Mississippi friends are going to be very angry about this video. Because I'm poo-pooing their tradition. It means nothing to me. The whole Mardi Gras season to me is silly. But I know it means a lot to other people. And again, I just tell them I don't understand it. First of all, the season before Lent shouldn't mean a free-for-all of debauchery and godlessness. If you're a practicing Christian, then that should be all year long. That you give up the evil stuff of this world and try to walk a holy walk, or try to walk a path that will take you ultimately to your Creator. I don't think that's why I have such a problem with it. I'll tell you a story. My daughter, who is in high school band, has to march in this Mardi Gras parade every year. And when it was over this year, she said to me, she said, "Mom, will you walk with me next year?" Because there were men, dozens of men, catcalling these high school young ladies who were just there because they're required to be there by their band director because it's a parade, and that's what bands do. They march in parades. And I told her, I said, next year I will march with you, because she wants the security of having her mama or her dad with her when these men are acting this foolish. Now, I don't know if it's because they're under the influence of alcohol or if it's just because they think that's okay, but that's not okay. And this is the kind of stories you hear over and over and over again throughout the whole Gulf Coast of Mississippi and into Louisiana. My goodness, last week, I think it was Wednesday, some poor woman got run over by a Mardi Gras float and died. Anyhow, I just don't think it's an appropriate environment to have children in, honestly. And I've got 2 children, and I don't take them to those parades. And now that my high schooler has to march in the parade, I can promise you that next year I will be there, walking right next to her. And y'all just pray that I don't find myself in jail for punching some drunk in the face for catcalling at my daughter. I'm liable to do that. My husband tells me, you can't just go around punching people, Charlotte. Well, I know that. For crying out loud, I know that. Anyhow, let's taste this cake. And while I do, I'll tell y'all a little bit of the history of this cake. This cake was created in France to celebrate the Epiphany. And the Epiphany is so many days after Christmas. I forget how many. I think it's 12. And throughout the years, it has been associated more with the Mardi Gras season and the pre-Lent, celebrations. It is, I've looked at recipes for this cake, and it is pretty much like a cinnamon roll. They can fill it with all kinds of different flavors. This one is cream cheese. They do blueberry, strawberry, chocolate, coconut. They even use apple and, just plain cinnamon. All right, here we go. Okay, the first thing I want to say is that icing is so sweet that I have to take it off. It's sweeter than sugar, if that makes any sense. It has the exact same texture as a cinnamon roll, but it's cold. That was a better bite. This one is not dry like the first one that I had was. And in fact, I'll tell you, I've avoided king cakes ever since that first one that I had. I'm like, my husband will say, you want us to get a king cake? I'm like, no, I'm spending my money on that. It tastes terrible. This does not taste terrible. In fact, it's pretty good once you get underneath the sugar. That sugar's potent. It does have cinnamon in it, layers of cinnamon. I don't know if you can see that. See the cinnamon in there? It is very tender, like a good cinnamon roll. I just can't stand that sugar. I just got another mouthful of it. And look, Granny likes sweets. I don't turn my nose up at sweets 99 and 44/100ths of the time. That's too sweet. Anyhow, I'm done with that. I was telling you about the history of this. It evolved into a cake that celebrated the pre-Lent period known as Mardi Gras. And now it's a tradition all over the Gulf Coast. The part that I explained, look, there are different traditions of Mardi Gras in different parts of the country and different parts of the world. I'm only relaying what happens here and how they treat this cake here as far as the parties and the baby inside, which God, I hope none of us choke on it. But I will say this, and I think you can guess that I really don't care for Mardi Gras season at all. Again, like I said, I don't understand it. I'm too old to go partying. I have fun, but I have fun with my family more than I have fun going out in public and reveling. I lived in North Florida when I was a kid. I lived in Virginia for a long time as an adult and never seen anything like this. In fact, the second year that we were in Mississippi, we decided to run away to Disney instead of dealing with the Mardi Gras crowds and the parades and the traffic. And I will say that the people that live here and are from here, they enjoy it immensely. And they do know how to have their kind of fun. They really do. I hope y'all have enjoyed this Mardi Gras perspective from a Mississippi Gulf Coast resident who happens to be a non-native and who really doesn't get this whole thing. If I ever pay $25 for a cinnamon roll again, I want somebody to come over here and put me out of my misery. Because that's the dumbest thing I've ever spent $25 on in my life. Y'all have a good evening.